The final of the solo open single ski, a field of 12. The defending champion is Kelvin Graham, Southport, Queensland.
Yes, Kelvin's a great paddler. He won last year after a very close struggle with Chris Bond from the entrance. Chris Bond is right in the field now, and some of the other favourites, of course, will be Grant Kenny from Alexandra Headlands, paddling in numbers at 10 position in the yellow cap. Cliff Goulding from Torquay, a former Australian champion. We've got Steve Wood from Manly in there as well. Grant Davies from Northcliffe and Andrew Book from Alexandra Headlands. This will be one of the fastest races we're likely to see over this great weekend of competition here at beautiful Scarborough Beach, the venue for the 1987 Australian Surf Life Saving Championships.
And to start, very, very important with such a class field to get the break on the others.
Yes, we see them competitors there. The starter has raised his gun. He drops it down again and brings it back. Starter doing everything to get them an even break. We see Grant Kenny raising his hand. He's got a problem there. Back now. Competitors lifting their craft again. And they're away now in the solo open single ski surf race. And straight away it's the leaders from the southern side moving out down there. Grant Davies from Northcliffe in Queensland. We see the Torquay competitors. That'll be Cliff Goulding from Torquay, a former Australian champion. Grant Kenny paddling through the middle there on the red and yellow ski, getting into a good position as they come up. Looking for Chris Bond from the entrance. Normally very fast off the beach. Steve Wood from Manly now has forged his way to the lead. Disappointed at not making the final of the open double ski race. Steve Wood, whether he can last this distance or not, it'll be very interesting to see. But certainly it's the light blue cap of Manly. Wood in first place. Grant Kenny now moved up into second position, and I think Kenny's going to have the strength that's needed to come home in this race as they head back into the wind.
Grant Kenny won the event in 1983, Chris Bond at the entrance in 85, and I mentioned Graham as the current title holder. So it's a class field in the solo open single ski.
Yes, well, we see Grant Kenny there in the picture now, and I think Chris Bond is starting to move up and make his run. Bond, normally very fast off the beach, is using different tactics this year. It'll be interesting to see whether he can hold on to them. He plans to explode home from the last of the turning boys. But Grant Kenny, an enormously strong man. You see him there in the yellow cap of his club, Alexandra Headlands. He's cut inside Steve Wood, who missed the turn there. Grant Kenny's had a word to say, and it looks like Chris Bond has now moved up into third position, but Grant Kenny, the golden boy of surf life-saving, now in the lead as they head round over towards the last of the turning boys. This is going to be a magnificent race on the way back to the beach, with the wind lifting the front of the skis up, a little bit of chop there, and Grant Kenny paddling very strongly. We see Steve Wood over on the left-hand side, and then it's Chris Bond on the right-hand side in the dark blue ski. But Grant Kenny in the brilliant red and yellow colours of the surf life-saving flags, paddling home extremely well. Wood going hard after him. Interesting to see whether he can make it.
And won't the big crowd here at Scarborough love it if Grant Kenny can get up and wing the single ski? Of course, he'll be back in the afternoon trying to win his 5th Johnson Wax Ironman. But what a setup for Grant Kenny.
Yes, and look at Kenny Power now. He's really putting it there. Chris Bond on the left-hand side of the screen, starting to lift his rating, but Kenny's an Olympic medalist and got a place in the World Championships last year in kayaking. Grant Kenny now paddling extremely well. I think Steve Wood's out of it unless there's a little swell for him at the end. But I'd say Grant Kenny now looking really good. If anyone can throw out a challenge, it will be Chris Bond on the left-hand side. But Kenny looking strong as he paddles back towards the beach in the solo single surf ski race.
He won his first senior Ironman at the age of 16. He's only 24, so he has had 8 years of experience, and that's all there now.
And a previous title holder in single ski competition. But Grant Kenny now brilliantly paddling back towards the beach. Everybody trying to throw out a challenge. Grant Davies from Northcliffe trying to come at him. Chris Bond trying to come at him. You can see from that shot the slight lead that Grant Kenny has. There's about 25 or 30 metres to go before they come to the wave area, and there's a little wave starting to build up out the back here. Grant Kenny now, a determined look on his face. He's gasping for air. Grant Kenny now lifting his blades into the water. Here's a slight little swell for him, and Kenny will come down it. Here comes Davies, and here comes Steve Wood. Look at the finish on Kenny. Look at Grant Kenny come across that line, and he's retained the solo single ski title. I'm quite sure of that. A magnificent paddle from Grant Kenny, Alexandra Headlands. Second place Could well be Steve Wood from Manly and Grant Davies from Northcliffe in Queensland will fill the minor placings.